Okay, get this. Imagine you get wrongfully deported. You fight like crazy to get back to the US, and then the government tries to deport you again. But this time, to a completely different continent. This story is absolutely wild, and we are going to break it all down. So hit that subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss this.
Yep, you heard me right. The United States government, specifically ICE, wants to put a dad from Maryland on a plane and send him to Uganda. The big question is, how on earth did we get here? It is a seriously tangled web of accusations, huge legal battles, and, international incidents. So let's dive in and unpack this whole unbelievable situation. All right, first up, let's talk about the latest twist in the story of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, because honestly, it is a bombshell. So picture this. Just last Friday, after this massive, drawn-out legal fight, Abrego Garcia is finally released from a jail in Tennessee. You'd think that's a huge moment of relief for his family, right? Well, think again. Almost the second he walks free, his lawyers get an email. It's a 72-hour notice from ICE saying, hey, we might deport him to Uganda. Seriously, Uganda. And this gets right to the heart of it. His legal team is basically saying this isn't just some random procedural move. They claim it's payback, pure and simple, for him having the nerve to fight his first wrongful deportation and win. Now, to really understand just how bonkers this Ugandan threat is, you have to rewind a little. This whole saga has been a complete roller coaster for years. Okay, just look at how this thing spiraled. It all kicks off with a traffic stop in 2022. Fast forward to 2024, and he's deported to El Salvador, even though there was a court order saying not to. It literally takes a Supreme Court ruling to get him back this June. And the moment he's released in August, boom, the Uganda threat lands. It's just chaos. And we need to be crystal clear about what that first deportation was like. He wasn't just sent to his home country. He was thrown into El Salvador's infamous Secot mega prison. He says he was tortured there, both physically and psychologically. So the stakes here are incredibly high. So what kicked this whole thing off in the first place? Well, the entire case really boils down to two completely different stories about one single event. On one side, you have the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS. Their story is that during that 2022 traffic stop, they found 8 other guys in his car, none with luggage, which they flagged as a classic sign of human trafficking. But then you have his wife, Jennifer. She has a much simpler explanation. She says he was a construction worker, and look, he often gave his coworkers a ride between different job sites. So, which is it? And this isn't just some minor disagreement, you know? The accusations have gone all the way to the top, and the language being thrown around is intense. I mean, really intense. The secretary of DHS herself called him a monster. And not just that, but a gang member, human trafficker, serial domestic abuser, and child predator. This is the official position from the highest level. But here's the thing. Despite all those incredibly serious labels, the facts show that before this whole trafficking thing started, Abrego Garcia had no criminal record, 0 charges, 0 convictions. Okay, so what about that gang member claim? What's the proof? Well, the government points to a few things. He has some tattoos, including a pot leaf and a skull. He was apparently detained once for loitering, and the final piece of evidence they're using, he was seen wearing a Chicago Bulls hat. I am not kidding. A piece of basketball merch is actually being cited as potential evidence of ties to the MS-13 gang. Just let that one sink in for a minute. Okay, so all of that brings us to today and this high-stakes game of legal chess that's playing out right now. Right before he was released, prosecutors came to him with a deal. They said, plead guilty to human trafficking. In exchange, no jail time, but we'll deport you to Costa Rica and you can live your life there. He said no, and it was right after he turned down that deal that the whole Uganda threat just magically appeared. So this really puts the government in a tough spot. Option A, they can go through with the Uganda deportation, but to do that, they'd probably have to drop the criminal charges, and you can bet they'd be facing another massive lawsuit. Or option B, they can back off the Uganda threat and just continue with the original trial here in the States. And yeah, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Right now, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is just stuck. He's in this bizarre legal limbo, waiting to see which card the government is going to play next. Which really brings us back to that core question from his lawyers. Is this whole insane, twisting legal mess a real attempt to find justice? Or is it just an extreme way to punish a guy who dared to fight the system and actually win? So what do you all think is really going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We do read them. And for more explainers that cut through the noise on the stories that matter, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for hanging out with us.